All right, welcome back. Let's get it. We're going to start on page 4, and there are some questions that we started with, and I'm going to back up to about page 4. Okay, it's about page 4. So if you have your book, and if you don't know where to get the book, the ebook, Oneness with the Healer Within, go to Shifa Harmonious Healing, ShifaHarmoniousHealing.com, and you can get the ebook there. Okay, now let me just fix my camera a little bit. All right, so starting on page 4 with a little bit of a rewind, we asked the question, who cares, right? Who cares? You know, I woke up one day realizing that nobody really cares about me. Everybody's really interested in their own points of view and their own opinions, okay, and what's going on with them, right? So it's really kind of ridiculous when we get all upset about what somebody said or what somebody, it's really all about them. Okay, so, woosah, okay. But it hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And it seemed that the more I cared, the more I gave, the more I taught, the more I listened, the more I helped, that nobody really cared about me. And I was getting burnt out, right? Just complaining. Or was I really having an insight? I had to ask myself that. I realized that generally folks don't care except when it comes to their family, their finances, defending their self-image, their opinion, their point of view. And when it is their body that's hurting, then people care a lot. Yeah. Certainly not caring is not healthy. As a matter of fact, it's a very low and destructive energy, right? We must care for ourselves and we must care for others. So this is not a indictment on people that, you know, that we happen to care about ourselves more than we care about anybody else, right? But the real truth of it is that we love one another as we love ourselves. That is what the real caring, healing energy is, right? Right? Love thy neighbor as, right? As, right? You love yourself. All right. So it's okay. We just have to recognize it. And when I recognize it, that's why I said it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so astonished, I began to give more attention to the question. Yeah. You got to ask powerful questions because powerful questions steer focus. Okay. Powerful questions steer focus. So I began to give more attention to this question in my thoughts, observing and clearly seeing the relationship between disease and the disconnect regarding self, health care, and truth. The current outer world view has made the true loving self with a capital S, self with a capital S, care, and the care for others, and loving them as we love ourselves, some optional, vague notion. So how did we get here? Next question. How did we get here? I've been living through and watching society's transition and development into what is the so-called wellness revolution and natural health trend. Okay. And I've been doing this for 50 years. I'm an OG. I've been in the game a long time. And I witnessed the social engineering tactics used to keep the minds of the masses focused on allopathic sickness care. It's not healthcare. It's not a healthcare system. It's a sickness care system. Okay. So it's sad to say that I have seen, and you've seen it too. You may not have participated in paying attention to it, but you've seen it because it's happening right under our nose. And it's sad to say, I have seen how the pharmaceutical cartel and the mainstream medical industrial complex have attempted to silence indigenous, natural, and spiritual healers. The profit motive seeks to co-opt and bury the truth, diminish its meaning, and discredit naturopathic processes. All of this is not surprising as the economists predict wellness as the next trillion-dollar industry. Fear has fed the hearts and minds of the people to persuade the masses to early graves, dying from preventable diseases, as the medical industry thrives on managing disease with synthetic drugs and the knife. It's a horrifying reality how millions have succumbed to thinking they care and follow their prescription as a way of existence. So the question has become, next question, we're on page 5. Who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? This is the question I ask you. I write this book with the hope of dispelling the erroneous lies and ideas and myths of the mainstream media voices, the pictures we ingest regularly to persuade us to think that they care about us beyond the greed for the next trillion-dollar trend windfall. We are our own authority. We are our own authority. Listen from within. Oneness with the healer within. Listen from within. I will simply point out to you the disconnect while offering ways and means of and for self-healing and victoriously overcoming the way commercial mainstream media has captured the minds and bodies of the masses. It is the mainstream voices and pictures programming that now define personal self-image. This image is adamantly defended by the sick. So be careful when speaking about it. Fostering a self-image of sickness, dependency, and helplessness separates the mind and consciousness of the populace from the idea of healing. It separates. Let me say that again. Fostering a self-image of sickness, dependency, and helplessness separates the mind and consciousness of the populace from the healing idea of oneness with God, love, spirit, or source energy, universe. It actually cancels self-healing as even a possibility. The illusion is, however, whatever they broadcast is generally regarded as truth despite the obvious contradictions and hypocrisy in the messages, which include the destructive, entertaining images and activities. We talked about the meaning of the word entertain and the meaning of the word amusement, right? The etymology, right? Entertain means to enter and hold the spirit. To entertain, okay? To enter in and hold the spirit, all right? So look up the etymology of the word entertain. Its meaning is to keep up, to maintain, to keep or to hold someone in a certain frame of mind, okay? Amusement is the same deliberate mind-dulling energy. Consider that its meaning to divert attention, beguile, delude, divert, cause to muse from a sense of, right? That means you just, I don't know if you know the story of Pinocchio, okay? And it was all about getting all the boys on the ship with amusement and candy and all that kind of stuff, all right? Amusement, all right? To divert, cause to muse from a sense of, to divert from serious business, okay? Amusement we're talking about, to divert from serious business, to tickle the fancy of. The primary meaning was deceive and cheat by first occupying the attention. We're on page 5. So if you were looking for that, that's where that is. Okay. And you are watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. And we will be back with more of Oneness with the Healer Within, transformational self-healing, right after these messages. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. All right, so we're back. We're on page 5, down at the bottom of page 5. So what does all this mean? I just went over some, it was startling to me when I recognized the etymology of those two words, entertain and amusement. Okay, so when you think about it now, and that's what this is about. What did I say at the top of this page? To dispel the illusion, right? To kind of wake us up from the spell, right, of the speak of the medical industrial complex and their media and what it's telling us. So here at the bottom of page 5, well, what does this mean? Well, putting it mildly, however bluntly to the point, the masses have been effectively socially engineered out of their minds. Thus, out of their health, out of their wealth, well-being, and ability to creatively self-design ways of living in correct relationship with their own healing capacity, which is self-love. It means some outside other voice is occupying their thoughts and feelings. What can we do? Next question. We can walk in the love of truth. Yeah. Healing starts with walking in the love of truth. On this love walk, we discover our body's original self-healing design, that it is the divine original, the ancient intelligence breathing us. Feel it beating your heart. That is your oneness with creative healing source. Healing moves in degrees, increments, and cycles of time, and processes that are recognizable and self-sustaining. Thus, disease patterns that are out of alignment with the original design can be corrected, strengthened, and enhanced. When we care enough to know how it works, learn what to do, and then do it, what degenerates can regenerate. In this book, Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing, I show and tell how your inner essence life source from the original ancient future principles. I love this. Using ancient indigenous cultural practices and the so-called modern wellness technologies can help anyone who so desires to care and love enough in their heart and mind, they can master disease conditions of the mind, of the body, and of the spirit. We are multidimensional beings. Multidimensional beings. That was the end of page 6. You are watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and I'm your host, Shifat, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. I'm bringing you the ebook that I have written, Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing. This is the return to designing our well-being in alignment with the first cause design of creative source. Through our reconnection to loving self-care, these questions may come to mind. Number one, you're going to want to write these down. Number one, what is in need of alignment? What is in need of alignment? Number two, how does one self-care to self-heal? Number three, why is caring self-love of utmost importance? Number four, who can I trust with my well-being? Number five, where do I find effective remedies? Number six, when is the best time to begin? I'm going to run back through those in case you missed them. Okay, and we are on page 7 of the ebook. These questions come to mind. Let me read the paragraph at the top of page 7. Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing is the return to designing our well-being in alignment with first cause of creative source through our reconnection to loving self-care, self with a capital S. These questions may come to mind. Number one, what is in need of alignment? What is in need of alignment? Number one. Number two, how does one self-care to self-heal? Number three, why is caring self-love of utmost importance? Number four, who can I trust with my well-being? Who can I trust with my well-being is number four. Number five, where do I find effective remedies? Number five, where do I find effective remedies? And number six, when is the best time to begin? The practice and use of the arts of focus of attention, listening, visual motor imaging, breath, and contemplation have been used in meditation techniques, sales and business trainings of all sorts to align mental intent with physical outcomes. These will be applied to your self-healing application through the principles of love and oneness embodied with the knowledge and caring in this ebook, Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing, to bring marvelous experiences when applied. Some results may seem miraculous to the brave souls applying the activities of self-healing. Now let's talk about the terrain, okay, as we come to the end of page 7, which is the end of the introduction, okay? The terrain. I have used case studies and stories from my many years of successful research and ministry service as a natural healer. From the big city to the rural countryside, I will take you on a trip of discovery, case by case, of caring and natural healing. The names are fictitious, but the cases are very real. Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing, gives the resources, the formulas, the names of the techniques, and some product information. Until we, as a society, come to our self-healed senses, it is needful that I tell you the content of this book is for education, entertainment, and information, and not intended to substitute medical advice. This is a sharing of the system of knowledge and process about how natural healing works. Divine self, first cause, creative source, universe, the love, wisdom, and power of the one true, almighty, absolute God, with our caring enough for life, is the vital life force energy to heal. It is love applied. Be healed. Be healed. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Now we're going to take a look into my personal journey. Welcome back. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and I'm your host, Shifa. We are taking a journey through my ebook, Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing. And we are now on, let's see, what page are we on? We are on page 8. If you want to pick up the book, you can get a free copy on my website at ShifaHarmoniousHealing.com. Shifa, S-H-I-F-A, HarmoniousHealing.com. So in this segment, we're going to take a look at, I'm going to take you into my own personal journey, okay? Because I almost didn't make it. Have you ever felt like your body was not cooperating with you and maybe even going in the opposite direction that you desire for your life? All right. Your body really does not have a mind of its own. It's operating from your mind. Okay. The mind, which is non-local. All right. That you tap into, oneness. Okay. Get this, right? Is the oneness. And your brain is the apparatus through which that communication comes that controls your body. All right. That's not on page 8. That's me giving you the nuggets. All right. So my body was going in the direction that I didn't want it to go in. Right. And so there I was, my body completely shutting down on me with painful swallows and shallow breathing. I was really hardly able to take a breath. It seemed like I was dying. I couldn't even lift my head, and fear rose up in my emotions, and I was getting really scared. A feeling of being alert and clear filled my inside as the fear chatter subsided. Ooh. How did it come to this? I asked myself. I'm a successful business owner. I'm an environmental consultant. I'm a major subcontractor with a metro energy company. I made a deal with the Don. I made a deal with Donald Trump himself. I was profiting what was a ginormous amount of money to me at that time, living large and single in New York City. Painfully, I struggled. I struggled to take another breath. I had fever and chills. I also needed a bath, like badly. Alone in my New York City condo, I was giving up, feeling defeated, sad, sorry for myself. I began to think about my life, the regrets and the sorrowful times. I began to replay the memory of the day my dad was shot in the head and how he fell into my arms and we both hit the floor. In that moment of pain, I asked a question. God, take me or tell me what to do. I closed my eyes and prepared to take what I most certainly knew was my last few breaths, when suddenly and softly, the voice spoke to me and said, "Heal yourself. You know what to do." Now, I tell you, I've been in this for 50 years, okay? So by the time I got to New York, right, I was what, 30? All right? I started this journey when I was 14. I did know some things. And there on that bed, painful, hardly able to breathe, came this voice. And said, "Heal yourself. You know what to do. And you will do it. And you are not alone, beloved." That voice. The images in my mind swiftly shifted to how my dad had survived that bullet. Yeah, he had survived that bullet to his head. I remembered how he refused to believe the diagnosis of death and being a vegetable for the rest of his life. How he boldly refused to take the medications, and in his stubborn, outrageous, and ridiculous faith, he committed to depend on God alone and take actions to heal himself into his own hands. Yeah, I got it honest. The scene of the vision changes, and I saw myself helping him heal. The memories came rushing back. I remember hearing how he prayed as he groaned through the pain. I remember him fighting epilepsy like it was a demon. I could hear my mom comforting him as they both cried during the sleepless nights. Startling me, the voice spoke again. "Heal yourself." "How?" I asked. "It is given to you," this voice said to me. "Hear my voice and obey now and forever. For my people perish from preventable diseases. Tell them what you know." A sharp pain went through me. I was hurting when a calm passed over me like a gentle, warm wave of water. As I lay back, literally gasping for air, a light warmed my heart. "They call it pleurisy," the voice spoke, followed by a list of remedies and formulas, as if downloaded into my very being. Barely able to lift my hand, I reached for the phone, called my business partner, and instructed him slowly, between breaths, to bring the list I had been given. That night, I was up and able to take a eucalyptus bath. 3 days later, I was on my feet, rejoicing in full recovery. That was my awakening. That was my knowing that I am one with God. God and I are one. I and she and me. God and I are one. Stay tuned. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. We'll be right back. Happy Healthy Healing Day. I'm Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth, and I'm inviting you to watch the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show right here on Access 21. We air every first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. I tell you, you don't want to miss it. There's some juicy nuggets that you got to have for your life. There's some things that you need to know about your healthy finances, your parenting. I deal with it in 13 dimensions based on the time that we're living in right now. All right. I'm your girl, Shifa Ali. Tune in to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. See you there. Welcome back to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm Shifa, and we are experiencing a reading of my ebook, Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing. We are right now on page 9. On page 9, I'm sharing my journey with you right before we get to the parts where I'm going to give you the remedies and the formulas and the herbals and the oils and the protocols and all of that stuff that's in the book. If you don't have the book, you can pick up a free copy at ShifaHarmoniousHealing.com. ShifaHarmoniousHealing.com. My awakening to the healer within, to my oneness with that voice, instilled in me an untamed audaciousness and determined will to answer and fulfill the instructions I got from the voice. Tell them what you know, no matter what. There is a healer in you. Yes, you and you, and you and you. There's a healer in you. Oneness with the healer within. And it's waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be accepted. Awaken. Awaken to it for yourself, for your family members, for the world. Awaken. The times demand that we boldly rise up and fulfill our potential. Stand in our greatness and claim our power to heal our lives. We have come for such a time as this to serve during Earth's evolutionary shift. Yeah, you know what time it is. There is a healing revolution taking place. Recognition of oneness with Source, of our life beating our hearts and breathing us from within. Each of us is part of this revolution in some way or another. You, beloved, are a healer. You can heal yourself. You can heal. The commercial wellness industry is a limited, socially engineered, profit-driven counterfeit of the true healing transformation that is raising the consciousness of humanity to reclaim our unlimited, unstoppable power to self-heal. Everything we need has already been given. It is all here. The what and the how is within each. And we are not alone. Listen within. Awaken today. Let it be your powerful intention to know something greater than we've been told, programmed, conditioned, and led astray. Humanity's physical ills are curable only as we focus on our oneness with the healer within, mindfully giving respect to our planet and receiving her life-giving cures with gratitude. Your heart knows the truth of this message. Your heart knows the truth this message speaks is in some way for you. I unapologetically stand in the place of my calling to serve you in your awakening as a healer in these evolutionary times. My calling is to serve as leader, teacher, and guide to those willing and ready to acknowledge and accept the transformational process of oneness with the healer within, awakening the healer within for transformational self-healing. I am here to ignite your human dignity to inspired action. Yes, awakening to self-healing is more than weight loss. It's more than a massage, random supplements, designer teas, and fitness programs, trips to the gym and to the spa. It is harmonious, holistic healing in the 13 dimensions of your life. It is oneness. I wrote Awaken the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing from the struggles and the victories of my own life experiences over the last 50-year timeline. I've included some of the inspired self-healing protocols for some health challenges that helped people I have been honored to serve and privileged to consult, coach, and inspire to transform their own lives. Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing is a guidebook of regenerating, replenishing, effective, life-changing solutions. You can also access the companion She-Fat Awakens webinar, book, and MP3s and participate in our member interactive website. This process is designed to provide you with a step-by-step daily process for sustainable, reliable results. Yes, I do private consultations and coaching, mentoring to accelerate your healing and explode your limiting beliefs for exhilarating results. To awaken the healer within requires a no matter what attitude like my dad had. My father was shot in his late 40s. I was 17 years old at the time. My dad proved to me, the doctors and all the naysayers, that we can self-heal when we awaken and listen to the voice of the healer within. My dad was back to work in 18 months and lived fully another 35 years. I made it here today, dedicated to this victorious journey with you. I come in the loving, healing power of oneness to tell you that you are not alone. Your answer, beloved, is within you. Yes, you can overcome every obstacle. It is time. It is time for oneness with the healer within. Awaken to your oneness with the healer within. It is time. In loving service from my heart, I invite you to allow me to share my insights and pour into you what I have learned and come to know. I joyously offer private coaching, consulting, and mentoring to give you effective, life-changing strategies to support you in awakening the healer within, to transform your life and victoriously live in the radiant, vibrant health you desire by design. Rise up in the inner essence power of your spirit. Awaken the healer within and transform your life. Start today. With all the love in my heart, I thank you for joining me on this journey as I share with you my ebook, Oneness with the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing. On page 11, we start chapter 1, Oneness with Creative Source, the lifestyle philosophy. Because it's more than just herbs and oils and, okay, it's more than that. Much, much more. Higher than that. And in this chapter, you are seeing the very first page that the client receives after a 90-minute consultation. In this chapter, you are going to be seeing the very first page of the Oneness Wellness Success Plan that a client receives after a 90-minute consultation. And if you have actually been one of my clients, this will be familiar to you. First, we'll begin with the philosophy, right? Got to get your mind right. We start here to move from the outer voice and the outer images of the broadcasters to the inner conversation to hone our focus of attention on caring about our healing enough to actually do it. Yeah. I know y'all feel that. We say, well, why do we have to start you? Why don't you just tell me what to do, right? Well, without a personal philosophy, we just drift along or get tossed about by every changing suggestion or trend that they give us, right? Tossed by the wind and the tide, right? A mentor of mine called it having a personal a mentor of mine called having a personal philosophy, the set of the sail. The set of the sail. You might not be able to control the wind, but you can control the set of the sail, okay, to take you in the direction that you want to go. It's a personal philosophy. Healing, awakening, oneness is a personal philosophy. Second, as we continue to look at the case profiles for each disease condition, dis-ease condition, you will notice the words and format for each section are the same, right? So that each page is broken down the same. It's a template. You have to have a system. It's the system of knowledge and process about how natural healing works. It's a system. However, the information inside each one of those is going to be customized for each client, right? That makes sense, right? This customization of your Oneness Wellness Success Plan for each one's individual needs is how we get to seeing how the word caring will feel the intent to move the client to make the shift to self-healing on their own behalf. Choice is a freedom in healing, right? You choose, right? We're all at choice. You choose. The caring must be authentic if the healing is to be embraced, actualized, and embodied by the client. That's why we start with philosophy. So we will pick up next time, chapter 1, page 11, and continue our journey through Oneness with the Healer Within, transformational self-healing. And it is my pleasure to have been with you today on the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. Make sure you tell a friend. Go to Owl Media Network on YouTube, and you can watch the repeats, okay? And we air here on Access 21 every first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. Tell a friend and share the content. Loving you always, I am Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. I'll see you next time. Take good care. Great day, terrific day, peace, love, and light. Welcome to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. And I'm so excited that you are here with us on today. Got some great moving us forward information today. We're having an implementation conversation, a natural way conversation, a natural way communication, okay? And I want you to go ahead and get your blue pen and your white paper. You know how we roll, you know how we rock. So you can take notes because you are about to get that natural healing information that you've been seeking. You are, I'm gonna bring it. You're gonna get some healthy finances information that you've been seeking on this show. Call a friend, text somebody, get them on the broadcast for this session. I'm so happy to be here with you because, I am working through a mess in my life, right? Who's not, right? You're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or moving into a storm is what they say, right? So life is just like that, all right? And so we're going to talk about the mess in our life and how we don't have to carry it around and it doesn't have to be so heavy on us and on all of that, because it's just like how life is, all right? And we don't want it to hinder us. So I'm going to talk to us today in 7 points, and I'm going to fill it all in as we move forward, all right? So on your paper, you can number them 1 through 7 and make sure you leave some space so that you can fill in not only what I'm saying, but what your aha moments are or your oh no moments are, okay? Now, as we progress in this conversation, this is about your transformation. This is about your ascending consciousness. Yes. I want you to understand how wide and how deep and how broad this conversation is, because we are multidimensional beings, right? Having a oneness experience. We are multi-dimensional beings having a oneness experience. And as we really begin to understand that, we can move into a space of conscious awareness and implementation such that we get things done. All right. So let's get ready to dive right in. By now you have your paper and pen, and you've also invited a friend so that we can get started right here, right now, in this space-time nexus. Yes, I know you like the language, right? Yeah, because that's where we are on the planet. We got to start speaking it, being it, right? Activating ourselves to this higher level of consciousness, this natural way communication. Okay, so I have some notes. So have some grace with me as I walk through this. It didn't come out when I was talking to my guidance, right, to my higher self, to my higher guidance. The universe gave it to me in how it came, and then I had to arrange it. So bear with me because I'm gonna refer to my notes. So let's start talking. Let's get ready. Here we go. Now we're gonna frame this around hope. Hope. Now I've heard some people say, hope is weak. You know what I'm saying? Well, everybody's going to have their opinion about whatever. And I'm here to share with you that hope has light, hope has magic, and hope has creativity. And as we get to implementation, like getting stuff done, it requires us to have this glimmer of hope, of the possibility to look forward, all right? That's what hope is. Now, those of you who are, spiritual, that that hope is the evidence of things not seen, and the things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, okay? So bring that to bear, because hope is about the spirit. That's the only place we really get things done. And then they show up in the material. So hope, write that down. What is hope? Hope has light, hope has magic, and hope has creativity. And it's going to take us getting creative to get you from where you are to where you require and desire to be based on your purpose, based on your why. All right. So that's number one. That's number one. Now, number two is, how is our hope formed? How is our hope formed? And are we living in a time in your life, a time in our life, a time on the planet, okay, where this hope is necessary to keep us going, right? Say hope is the thing that keeps us going. It keeps us looking forward, all right? So we have to be aware of what we're listening to. How is our hope formed? Our hope is formed based on what we ingest in our hearing, in our seeing, right? Hope is built upon what we think about most of the time. And for most people, what we think about most of the time is the headline news, okay? It's the headline news. You know how the headlines are screaming at us. The headlines are screaming at us, all right? And so what does the media do? Okay, so here's what it doesn't do. The media doesn't tell us what to think. The media tells us what to think about. Did you catch that? All right, write that down. The media doesn't tell us what to think. The media tells us what to think about. So if all we're thinking about is what the screaming voice of the media is saying, okay, that becomes what we are hopeful for. We don't necessarily think about that as what we're hopeful for. We kind of think about it as what we worry about or what we dread might happen, you know. But be clear. Be clear. It doesn't matter, because the neurons in your brain are taking it all in. And it's what you're ingesting, whether you ingest it as worry, whether you ingest it as fear, whether you ingest it as doubt. All right, all of those dark and spaces where the light is not. All right, that's all that means. That's where the light of your being is not. All right, so now what? We go back to hope. Be clear that what you are hopeful for is what you listen to, what's screaming at you the most. Now, you know that your energy goes where your attention flows. Your energy goes where your attention flows. I'm not the first one to say that. It's probably not the first time you heard that. All right. But you do want to write that down, because you want to seal it in your consciousness so that you're conscious, you're aware of where your energy is flowing. Okay, so that is number two. We are wired. We are absolutely wired to manifest what we see, what we ingest. And when we look at these screaming pictures, it creates these screaming voices creates pictures in our mind, in our mentality. Right? And then we manifest that. And it might not look like the same thing we saw on the television, but you get all this interference in your life, right? And you don't know necessarily where did that come from? Okay? Where did that come from? So now in the implementation stage, we have to start to look at what it is we are hoping for that creates that light, that magic, and that creativity. That gives us that glimmer of possibility. Remember, that's number one. Number two is that whatever we are thinking about, we're wired to manifest that, right? The reason why we get the things that we have in our life is because that's where we put our energy. And where we put our energy and we think about it and we visualize it and we cuddle up with it and we nurture those thoughts. You know, we go to bed worried and we wake up worried, right? That's you nurturing those thoughts. You got to shift that. Implementation, change that. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're thinking about the good, the pure, and the beautiful. What's possible? What are you creating in your life? Okay, so you want to make sure that what you're ingesting in your thought life is what you choose to create. Okay? Now, in this creativity, in this manifestation, in this implementation conversation, this natural way communication, all right, we want to go on and make sure that we are clear, that we understand, that we comprehend, actually, that we are multidimensional beings, and that in our multidimensionality, okay, there are 13 dimensions that we actually are molding all at one time based on how we think about things and our hope for our life. Okay, so the first is natural mind. Natural mind. So we're going to talk about natural mind as it relates to your purpose. And I'm going to take you through these 7 steps inside your multidimensionality, inside your multidimensional life, inside your multidimensional manifestation. Okay? And it starts with natural mind. Natural mind. So what is natural mind? We're going to dig into that. I want you to think about that. We're getting ready to go to break in just a little bit. I'm going to keep feeding you, nurturing you, okay? Nourishing your hope that you can implement whatever it is that you are desiring in your life. In your life, okay? In your life. What are you desiring in your life? Think about that. Write it down with specificity. What does it look like, smell like, feel like? Okay, right? What does it smell like? Write that down with specificity. All right? What is it you desire? And we're going to come back and talk about how this all fits together in our natural mind. And we're going to move on to point number 3. All right? We'll be right back.